I was surprised and greeted with a breaking news announcement, courtesy of our friends at WWE and ESPN. And they announced that, well, let's just look at the tweet here, shall we? Sure. It says, breaking news, WWE premium live events are headed to ESPN platforms in the United States starting in 2026.
Oh, so next year.
Starting in January, yes. So what this means for WWE is that basically what has been playing on Peacock, as far as I understand it, will now be moving to ESPN and this new app that ESPN has coming out. More on that in a little bit. But yeah, this is big news. And we'll get into all the feelings about it. But let's get into all the details about it first. Sure. This led me to a second tweet here from ESPN PR. So ESPN has their own PR Twitter account. I think that's kind of funny. But it makes sense in a way because you don't necessarily want this type of stuff mixed in with just like highlights or what people are used to coming to ESPN for. But nevertheless, there is a need for this kind of stuff out there because this whole link that they linked to in this slide was different than just the basic ESPN.com article that got put out.
Okay.
And there's a little bit more to this one. So that's why I wanted to go through this one in all the details and hear from some of the key people involved with this. But the tweet itself says ESPN handshake WWE starting in 2026. ESPN's DTC platform will be the U.S. home of every WWE premium live event, including WrestleMania.
Does that affect the Netflix streaming or not really?
Yeah, so no, it does not. This is just a Peacock replacement. So everything we've been getting on Peacock, like Saturday night's main events, we've been getting the monthly events like we just had. SummerSlam, both nights were on Peacock. We had Money in the Bank, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series that's coming up, Clash in Paris coming up. Like these are the events that will now be on ESPN, as well as all the post-game, or I should say post-event coverage, pre-event coverage. That will all happen through ESPN as well. It will happen apparently on the cable networks as well as the streaming service.
Okay.
So there's interesting wrinkles to go around here, and we'll get into all of it in a minute.
Okay.
Let's go to this press release.
Sure.
And I'm not going to read the headline or the sub-headline because a lot of it is actually going to be repeated in and of it, the press release itself. But just wanted to show this. It's kind of crazy to me to see ESPN and WWE sharing the same space together. I got to get that out. You know, it's a little bit of a like, wait. This plays into what we've been talking about with WWE, like playing up what's real or not. Is this actually sports? Like people like my dad would say, this is not sports. What are we doing here?
But it is in a way. You know,
okay, Nika, tell him why.
Because you still got to get your body conditioned. You still got to practice. Just because you don't get a scorecard at the end or you don't win a championship at the end, as a team or tennis players or whatever.
Well, they win belts and stuff.
They do.
It's just that it's scripted.
There's
an outcome that's known ahead of time by the people participating in it. And
that's why
they're executing theatrical entertainment.
Absolutely.
They are not necessarily like
that's true.
competing in the heat of the moment like a pitcher and a batter are in a baseball game.
You're absolutely correct.
Like Michael Jordan versus Reggie Miller is in the 90s or LeBron versus whoever you want to pick nowadays.
You are 100% correct. What I'm just pointing it out is the bodies, the people that take place in wrestling, they still have to work on it.
Absolutely. There's a skill and a craft to it. They're glorified stuntmen and women. And, you know, they're there to put on a show and entertain people. Yeah. They're there to do acrobatics and agility stunts. And yet we also see people like Nia Jax, who are not the most athletic people in the world that have a place in this as well. We see people like Bronson Reed, who are not athletic at all, that have a place in it.
Yeah, so it's a borderline.
It's a complex topic, honestly. And I just feel like I've never looked at WWE as real sports.
Of
So
course.
that's why this looks funny to me, is because
It's not real because there's no sports betting involved.
right, yeah, but this is not exactly. This is not Monday Night Football.
Yep.
This is not Sunday Night Baseball.
Nope.
This is not the Wednesday night NBA games, doubleheader, whatever. I mean, I don't know if they still have all these things, but once upon a time they did.
Yeah.
They carried all 4 sports: NHL, NBA, MLB, NFL. Now here we are. Crazy stuff, crazy times. WWE in a huge partnership with ESPN. Let's get into this press release. It says Bristol, Connecticut, and Stamford, Connecticut. I wanted to quickly make mention of the fact that we have these 2 huge entertainment television companies merging for the first time, and yet they've been in Connecticut together the whole entire time. Are you surprised that it took this long for this to actually come to fruition? Or was what I said about ESPN and sports stigma and stuff, is that all wearing off now, and this is just a natural evolution of the times? And
It could be. They also, you have to look at the networks. They know where the money is, so they try to get on it. Just like every network needs to have its own streaming service because.
Sure, I mean, this is similar to Disney and Lucasfilm's relationship as far as ESPN goes, because Lucasfilm is in San Francisco and they're not moving to Disney World or Disneyland anytime soon. ESPN, just like them, is staying in Connecticut. They are run through Connecticut. They always have been. Their acronym, by the way, means Eastern Seaboard Programming Network. In case you didn't know, it has nothing to do with electronic sports programming, as I used to think it was when I was a kid. A subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company.
So Disney will be the big umbrella company.
Yeah, and WWE is part of TKO Group Holdings, which is, I think, also the owners of MMA and all of that.
That's
fighting.
a recent merger as well.
So they're all under that banner now together. They announced the landmark rights agreement as ESPN platforms, including the new ESPN direct-to-consumer streaming service. That's what DTC stands for, by the way, in case you were wondering earlier. Will become the exclusive U.S. domestic home of all WWE premium live events, PLEs. These used to be called paid live events because that's what pay-per-views were. They changed it to premium, including the 2-night cultural phenomenon WrestleMania starting in 2026. This deal makes ESPN home to the highest profile WWE events of the year, including what we just watched, SummerSlam. We mentioned Money in the Bank. We mentioned Survivor Series coming up in November, which is live at Petco Park, which we're excited about, Nika.
Yeah.
But also like the Riyadh events, Royal Rumble's going to be in Riyadh. The Night of Champions was in Riyadh this past summer. All that stuff. It's going to be all on ESPN's new streaming app, but I'm also feeling like it's going to be on cable as well. The ESPN DTC service will stream all WWE PLEs annually in their entirety with select simulcasting on ESPN linear platforms. So notice the key word there, select simulcasting. It doesn't say all simulcast, right? So there might be some stuff that's not on cable. Just keep that in mind, because the way this is being sold to some people, to some customers, is that this is actually an upgrade. But I want to get into all of our thoughts about that at the end. Marquee PLEs include WrestleMania and SummerSlam, both 2-night events, and Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, Money in the Bank, among others. WWE will continue to produce all PLEs. This is really important. I'm curious to see if we see any changes in the WWE programming now that they have entered into this visual, I guess, of a partnership with a Disney-owned brand, And I know ESPN is self-governed, and I know WWE is now maintaining their self-governance here and producing their content their way. However, I just want to remind people of what happened with Star Wars and the same kind of relationship that they had with Disney. They still make all their own stuff, but a lot of people feel like Star Wars has not been a success under Disney, in that it's kind of divided the fan base in certain aspects. So that's the last thing we want to see happen to WWE. Whether you agree with it or not, it doesn't matter. We're not making a case for one or the other here. We're just pointing out the fact that you can't ignore the fact that the fan base got divided. And that's what I don't want to see happen with WWE.
Yeah.
All right, let's read some statements from some brass.
Oh.
Jimmy Pitaro, chairman of ESPN, quote, WWE has an immense, devoted, and passionate fan base that we're excited to super serve on our new ESPN DTC platform. This agreement, which features the most significant WWE events of the year, bolsters our unprecedented content portfolio and helps drive our streaming future. So very interesting. ESPN also just bought the NFL Red Zone. So that will be on this DTC platform as well. They're obviously trying to bolster their profile and ahead of this launch of this new streaming service. Am I wrong, Nika?
No, you are spot on.
So I think this was been discussed for a while, but this service is actually about to launch. And I think this is like a kind of unexpected, unforeseen development in the consumer's eyes that will only bolster the profile of this streaming service. Here's Mark Shapiro, the president and chief operating officer of TKO. We are proud to reinforce the E in ESPN at such an exciting juncture. See, I think this guy thinks that the E stands for electronic or entertainment or something, and it stands for Eastern.
Well, that's a horrible
What
person.
are you reinforcing? Like, that
Eastern
WWE's also produced in the East in Connecticut? Like, this is such an awful, quote here, because I really think he's confused on what the E means.
Yeah,
right?
he is in the charge of this thing. Wow.
Well, he's one of them.
I get it, but still.
All right. We are proud to reinforce the E in ESPN at such an exciting juncture in its direct-to-consumer journey. WWE premium live events are renowned for exactly the type of rich storytelling, incredible feats of athleticism, and can't-miss cultural tentpole experiences that have become synonymous with ESPN.
Did the AI write this?
Through our UFC relationship, we have experienced firsthand how transformational an ESPN presence can be, and we know this will be an exceptional partnership at a time of great innovation for both companies. Well, that'll be interesting to see if that plays out because, again, in our experience with Star Wars, they tend to play it more safe now than they should be, in my opinion, as a brand in 2025. And if they're playing it safe, I feel like WWE might start to play it safe. I hope not. I like what we've been seeing with WWE, how they've been blurring this line between reality and whatnot. And then, I wonder how this all plays into the press conferences thing that happened recently too, where they announced no more post-event, actual journalists asking our entertainers questions. We don't have control of that situation.
Yeah.
So
control the narrative.
Nick Khan, president of WWE, had this to say: WWE's agreement with ESPN is a pivotal moment for our millions of fans across the United States, the leader in sports entertainment partnering with the biggest brand in sports media. Bringing WWE's flagship of events to ESPN's platform is tremendously exciting. We know the sky is the limit.
Okay.
So, a lot of word salad here from the suits, as I'm calling them.
Of course. That's what they're looking at.
And let's read this little blurb. I didn't copy the whole entire press release. You can go on to the ESPNPR.com website and check it out for yourself if you want. But let's just revisit some of this direct-to-consumer app that's coming out so we can talk about that. All of ESPN, all in one place, coming soon. Sounds very teasery. For the first time ever, ESPN will offer its full suite of networks and services directly to fans, along with an enhanced ESPN app that integrates game stats, betting information, fantasy sports, commerce, multi-view options, and personalized sports center just for you. A personalized sports center. Can you pick your own anchor, Nika?
I'm sure that would be great.
That would be funny if they have old AI anchors from the 90s or something. It's you can have Sports Center any way you want it. Now that I might pay for.
That would be more entertaining.
Give me Craig Kilborn doing the big show, as he used to call it, and straight out of 1998. I might buy that. Designed to give fans more choice, flexibility, and access. Oh, there's that funny word, access to all of ESPN. These new features and functionality will be available to all fans who watch on the ESPN app on mobile and connected TV devices, whether they subscribe directly or through a traditional pay TV package. For more, visit the ESPN DTC press kit. So what that means is basically like if you subscribe to your local cable bill still and you have not cut that cord and you have ESPN, I believe you will be able to download this app and verify that you are a paid customer of such and such, whether it's like AT&T or Comcast or whoever the hell it is in your neighborhood. And you will be able to verify that you pay for it all, and they will just unlock the app for you at that point. So if you are one of those people in the world that's 55 years or older, congratulations. You probably will get access to all of these WWE paid premium live events for like no additional charge.
Because it's part of the package.
Because you just get it as having ESPN already through your cable subscriber. That's what they're saying here. And that's an important little detail because some people are marketing this as a win, that they're actually going to be outputting less money now per month because they don't have to pay for Peacock anymore. I would argue that they're probably going to still pay for Peacock in a lot of those instances, though, because they watch Sunday Night Football and they're going to want to watch that Sunday Night Football. It's usually a marquee game.
Yeah.
They even have the rights, by the way, to move certain games after like week 9 or week 10 or something to the Sunday night slot based on standings or whether they think like, this team started 0-8. We had them going 7-1. We don't want to air their game anymore.
So they have the
right to change it. They can switch it to the team that is 8-0 and be like, let's watch and see if they go undefeated.
Wow.
They have that right to do that. So I'm
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But I think a lot of those people are not going to be cutting Peacock out of their lives. And yeah. All right. Let's see what the big boss himself, Triple H, had to say. Bringing ESPN and WWE together is monumental, Nika. Two leaders in sports and entertainment delivering for our fans in the United States. This partnership presents a massive opportunity for the brand, our superstars, and the industry as a whole. Excited for what's to come. Get ready for 2026. This is a little bit more interesting of a statement because it's coming from the chief creative officer. And, it just makes me wonder. I mean, he sees big things for the individuals, like the Cody Rhodeses of the world, the formerly John Cena's. John Cena's not going to see ESPN, is he?
No.
He might come out and announce something about this, though, early on in the process. I wouldn't be surprised. Anyways, I do think that this is an oversell by Triple H, and I will say why in a minute. But before we do, I want to read one final statement, and that's from Cody Rhodes himself, who went into the ESPN studios for us, WWE, for us to be able to take its rightful place in the home of sports media at ESPN. That's perfect. Undisputed champion Cody Rhodes reacts to ESPN's new partnership with WWE. Flex fire, Nika, on the end of that tweet there. Are we going to see Cody Rhodes defending the WWE title at WrestleMania 42 on ESPN? Is he going to be in that main event? Is he still going to be champion?
He might.
I think he definitely is. I think that's why he's holding that belt right there. And also in the picture, I think he's going to be headlining that first event, Nika.
And WrestleMania is not that far from us.
It's really not.
So when you look at the calendar, the SummerSlam just happened. WrestleMania is right in a few months. Yes, most likely he will retain the belt.
It's not that far, and yet the World Series and spring training will both happen from now until then. So it is a little bit farther out.
Sure, but then you have holidays, all that stuff, So
all right, well, just play with me for a second.
Sure.
And let's assume Cody is the headlining WWE undisputed champion. He's headlining night 2 of WrestleMania 42 on ESPN. Who's his opponent?
Oh, geez, I don't know at this point.
Oh, come on.
It's not going to be Cena. It's not going to be Seth. It's not Gunther again?
Could it be Roman Reigns somehow?
Maybe. Could be Roman Reigns. Could be Gunther. Could be
Let me throw this
Uso.
at you. I think WWE needs to do something different at some point in their future. And they need to take risks.
Okay.
I don't know when the last time they did this was. WrestleMania 6 comes to mind. But what about Seth as the world heavyweight champion against Cody as the WWE
I didn't know.
undisputed champion.
I thought
and
of that.
title for title.
But I didn't
And
know you could do
whoever
that.
wins
Has
walks
both?
out with both.
Can they do that?
They've done that before.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was possible.
Now, I think they can relinquish a title if they want to on their own.
Oh,
I don't think they can
why
give it
would
to
you?
a different wrestler.
Why?
I don't know. Boxers, by the way, hold multiple titles. When Ultimate Warrior wrestled Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6 in that famous main event, Ultimate Warrior was the Intercontinental Champion. Hogan was the WWE Undisputed Champion, the same belt Cody Rhodes holds now. It looks a little different. But we have seen Cody wear that. They call it like the Winged Eagle version or something. So we have seen that on the Netflix documentary show, the Unreal. All right. Well, I wanted to ask you about that really quick. I would love to see Seth take on Cody Rhodes because I don't think Seth has ever beaten Cody Rhodes.
Okay. Well, that would be a great match.
It would be a fun match. All right. Well, let's get into some of the nitty gritty of this because we're running out of time. There's some red flags for this deal for me, Nika, especially because of the aforementioned Disney Star Wars stuff. And it's very similar to this in a way where Disney's the distributor of the product, but it's supposedly being made by the same people, except it's obvious that there's going to be some influence here, right?
I sure hope there isn't, because I hope they hold on to their identity. If Disney starts meddling in WWE and try to force to play it safe and their rules on WWE, you're going to lose people.
I don't think they're going to go that far, but I will say I do expect fully that somebody from ESPN will be on the WWE's board of directors if they're not already in the near future.
Okay.
That's one prediction I will make.
And also,
because they're going to want to have a voice at the table in all of this.
Of course. And this is what, 5-year deal, 10-year deal?
It's a 5-year deal.
So it's not that bad.
They doubled the amount of money that Peacock was paying in that same time period. So they definitely bought it.
They want it.
They put some money into the NFL, as we mentioned recently. So they are definitely trying to expand aggressively right now. And I think an overreach by WWE's part to expect people to pay $30 a month that were paying less than $10 a month for Peacock is a huge overreach, right?
But is that the price is dictated by the wrestling people or is it dictated by ESPN?
It doesn't matter. You have to know as WWE what ESPN is charging for this. And I feel like this is not true across the board, but a lot of WWE fandom comes from lower income families. And you're now going to be pricing some of those people out of getting paid live events. You know, this reminds me of pay-per-view in the 80s and 90s all over again. It was like you always went to a buddy's house to watch it because it was more cost effective for everyone to come over and pay $5, 10 people for a $50 pay-per-view versus you all get it at home yourselves for $50. And that's what I feel like the society wants now. And they're only going to push people back into this model where it's like, well, why don't we just get 5 of us together and give you $10 every month instead of all of us paying $30 on our own, or we'll all give you $6 or something every month. And we'll all save each other $24 a month over the course of a year. That adds up.
That adds up.
That's over $300.
That is a expensive streaming service for ESPN to asking people $30 a month for that.
It's a lot.
It is, and I'm just wondering whether this is just a testing price.
I want to give people a advance notice. You say it's a testing ground. Let's see where things sit on Black Friday. There will be no WWE events on this ESPN app that's launching at the end of August. There will be none on there this year.
Right.
You know, this is all starting in January of next year. So having said all that, let's see what happens at Black Friday. We've noticed in the past that even Disney Plus and Hulu have been hugely discounted on Black Fridays.
Yes, but never
Hugely.
ESPN though.
Never ESPN. That's true. So take that for what it's worth. Maybe we'll see something here. If subscriptions, though, aren't as high as they want them to be yet, they might do something this one time. You know, like when we first signed up for Disney Plus, I remember we don't have it anymore. But when we got it before it launched, and we got it for a really, really, really good price.
It was like $3 a month or something.
Less than $4.
Yeah.
It was less than $4 a month. There was no commercials. It was ad free.
Yeah.
For all 3 years, we got that. And it was we had to pay for 3 years in advance.
I know.
That was the one stipulation, but it was still less for 3 years than this is going to cost for 3 months of this, or 5 months of this, whatever. You know, like it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think the price is way too much for just, you know, when you compare Peacock, you still get a lot of extra stuff on Peacock. I'm not judging whether it's good or bad or not. You can be the judge of what you like to watch, but there's other content with it: movies, TV series, live shows, reality shows, obviously the live sports. They have the NBA coming back to Peacock next year, and they're going to have Sunday night basketball just like they have Sunday night football.
I'm wondering whether NBC is going to regret not ponying up more money because they have basketball coming back to NBC.
I mean, I don't know. We also heard that ESPN had a little bit of buyer's remorse about the MLB and letting it go, and now I'm wondering if that was just a bluff to get more money out of WWE. And I wonder if we do see MLB go to Peacock as well.
No, that would be interesting.
And I think it would be interesting. You know, like, I don't think NBC is losing Sunday Night Football anytime soon. So they are going to have an NFL presence. Now they're going to have an NBA presence. If they get an MLB presence, they also have an NHL presence. Yeah. You know, credibility in sports matters too. And so we'll see. I wonder if ESPN is ruining some of their own credibility by taking WWE on. So we'll have to wait and see how the
all plays
sports
out.
Fans view that decision ultimately over the long term.
All right.
Well, the last thing I want to say about this is I'm super jealous of the European/international market right now. And the biggest loser in all of this to me is just the U.S. customer, you know?
Shocker.
Like, I don't understand why anyone at WWE would think having to have an ESPN subscription, a Netflix subscription, cable in order to watch USA.
Oh, that's
for SmackDown.
That is a horrible business model.
I don't understand how anyone would look at this and be like, yeah, that's what's good for our fans. You know, on the surface, you can... There's this old school thinking, I guess, that comes from the 80s and 90s that we've talked about a lot through this segment. But it makes me cringe a little bit that we're looking at a brand that's as edgy sometimes as it can be as WWE. And yet they're living in the past when it comes to these media deals and what they mean for people and stuff. And it's like, as an international customer, that's where it's at right now. You pay for Netflix and you get everything. You get Raw, you get SmackDown, and you get all of these paid live events.
And no commercials.
Premium live events, no commercials. Whenever you're watching SmackDown and the USA cuts to a commercial, you'll either get a WWE promo on Netflix internationally, or you'll get to continue watching the match. So the US consumer is getting screwed by these people, you know, and they're just kind of wanting to live in a world where we don't realize that Australia and England and France and the Middle East and who else? Japan, name your country, Mexico, you know, they don't have to deal with any of this, and they just get to pay one service and get it all.
Yeah,
that's what we want. That's what we want. Like, even the Peacock Netflix model was broken for me. I just want it all on Netflix. But you're not giving me any incentive now to run out and get this ESPN app. In fact, I feel like you're incentivizing piracy in people again. And that's what this whole streaming was supposed to get rid of, if you remember. It was like, oh, you want to curb piracy? Start putting stuff on streaming. Now, they just want it all. They want to eat their cake or they have their cake and eat it too. And they want it coming out of both sides of their mouth. I don't know how else to put it. To me, this is going to backfire ultimately on WWE. And that makes me sad because you and I just have slowly started getting into all of it. And I'm not saying this is going to be an immediately felt effect, But I wonder where we will be standing in 2030 when we look at this in the rear view.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if it's only 5 years, this is more of our trial run, see how it goes. But then they overreach with the price.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix was a trial run too. I think it was a 10-year deal, but it could be canceled after the 5th year.
Okay.
So I'm curious how the show is performing on Netflix according to them. You know, I'm wondering if it is about where they thought it would be, or if it's under expectations, or if it's overperforming. You know, the ESPN price though would tend to tell me that it's overperforming, or that at least they think it is. And I'm just also wondering, where was Netflix in this? Were they not a part of this conversation for the U.S. consumer? Do they not want WWE to be all in one place in the United States market?
It's a great question.
It is mind-boggling to me. And, you know, I would at least take my international partner and take the offer from the competitor to the table first.
Yeah,
and we don't hear anything about that in this. This just kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody really had this on their radar. So that's why we spent a little bit of time on it today. Anyways, lasting thoughts are that I think this is ultimately going to backfire on WWE, and I don't think it's going to grow the brand in the way that they think it is.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. What do you think? Do you think this is a good thing for WWE below?
Are you asking me? No.
I'm asking everyone. I'm asking you. I'm asking our listeners. I'm asking everyone that got to the end of this video. What do you think about this deal? Are you happy about this? Are you angry about this? Are you just kind of like me and a little bit disappointed that ultimately I think more people are going to walk away than come on board? And at the end of the day, if you're losing more than you're gaining, then that's not a good deal.
Yeah.